Today we're talking about staying alive as a tank. If you want to win more games, you have to learn how to die less as a tank. But here's the thing. I'm not going to give you a list of 5 tips to stay alive, because that's not what you need. What you need to know is the psychology behind how a high rank player stays alive in most situations. So in this video, we're going to be looking at 2 of my games where I managed to stay alive almost the whole game. And we'll be talking about what I could have done better next time to prevent the one death that did happen from happening again. And if you're able to actually absorb and apply this knowledge, I guarantee your games will go a lot better. I know this works because this is what I do to make sure that I'm constantly improving. I rewatch some of my games, or even in game I think about what I could have done better next time every time I die. So let's take a look at some of the good things I did during these games, but also some of the mistakes I made that I could have avoided. So before the game even starts, I want to talk about something that you should keep in mind every time you're playing a tank. Just because you're a tank doesn't mean that you can hold your shield up and everything will be fine. Even as a tank, you should be playing near natural. So what I mean by that is playing near the natural structures next to you. So look at how I'm always making sure that I'm close to a wall. Even though I have my shield, I'm always making sure that I have some type of exit so I can have a place where I won't take damage, but a place where I can also get healed constantly. And I'm not pushing up yet because we don't have a pick. There's no point in being so aggressive until one of us dies. The best way is to wait till your DPS gets a pick, just like that. We got 2 picks and now it's time to be aggressive. A lot of people think that you have to just press W and hope for the best, and that's what a lot of people do, and they say they're doing so much and they still keep dying, and it's because it's okay to be a little patient. It's okay to wait for your team to get some picks. Even though we didn't get any picks, I was being aggressive, but I was also backing up. I was still giving the other team the respect that they need, right? You can't always just be going up and hoping that you get a pick and playing it 50-50. You want the odds to be in your favor, right? You want to be able to play in cover next to you. You don't want them to be in a position where they have the advantage. We want to do whatever we can to make sure that we, as well as the rest of our team, has the advantage. And it's okay to trust your team. Make sure that your DPS are enabled, right? Take as much space as you can, but also make sure you're not killing yourself in the process, and trust your DPS to get the picks that you need to be able to push.
Wait, no, they're on.
Right now, again, I'm playing next to the rock, making sure that I'm within the line of sight of my healers, but I'm not within the line of sight of their DPS. Yes, just because I have a shield doesn't mean I need to use it until the health goes down to 0 and then I'm sitting there in the open. I'm trusting my team to be smart enough to also be using cover, and if I really think they're not, then I'll let them know in the comments. I'll either type it down or I'll put in my mic and I'll tell them that, hey, I'm not always going to be having shield up because then it gets melted. The best way is to make sure that there's cover near you. Make sure that there's some type of barrier that can't be broken near you. Now that we have picks, it's time to take space. As a tank, I don't know what I'm doing here, to be honest. I should be going up a little bit more, at least playing this corner where I have cover, but I'm still taking a good amount of space. There's no point in pushing cart right now, especially as a tank. We need to go up, right? And I guess it doesn't matter because by the time they got here, the cart's already here. So now, again, we play 50-50. We try to make sure that there's some kind of cover near us. We had immortality there, so I was playing a little bit more aggressive. But even then, I shouldn't have left my team like that. I saw their strange Argamoto, so I decided to Argamoto back. We got picks, and we keep going. But there, to be honest, I probably should have made sure I knew where the strange was and shouldn't have given him a free Argamoto.
Keep the space. Just keep the space.
And one thing about this game, I don't know if you just heard it, but we were talking about using support ults. And unlike Overwatch, I feel like in this game, you build support ults way quicker than any ult, and it's very constant. I feel like every single fight you have a support ult, especially at the higher ranks. It feels like every single fight there's gonna be a support ult pop. And so in order to cope with that, sometimes, as stupid as it sounds, I go up and take damage on purpose to make sure that my supports can build their ult by the next fight. I did it there a little bit, but now I'm going back to playing next to cover, making sure that we get a pick, and playing a little bit more aggressive. To be honest, I could have played more aggressive here. Don't know why I'm not. Maybe we made a call or something, or I'm stupid. But now, now I'm pushing up, but I feel like now it's kind of too late. The spawn's right there. But again, we keep going 50-50. We don't need to play too aggressive. Their strangers playing too aggressive, and we punish them for it. We popped our support ults. We're fine. Mag pops his ult. He goes for our Mag for some reason, so I didn't even have to block it, which was good. Now again, we just repeat the process. We gotta pick our Storm ults. We go in with it. They're Luna ults, but we can easily kill her through it with Strange's E and the Storm ult, but also obviously with Mag's ult. He got a huge 4K, and so just like that, we win the fight. Not much to say there. The Mag just got a really big ult as well as the Storm, so wasn't too hard.
Those guys, they grouped so much.
But again, something that their Strange did at the end there was he pushed up so aggressively for no reason. He could have just contested 50-50 like I was doing and just kind of trusted his DPS to get the picks that they needed. Right now, obviously, most games you can't have a 6-stack or you can't have people that you trust to get picks, but as bad as it seems, that's kind of mainly how it should be. But that still doesn't mean that we should give up, right? Because we're tanks, we can do so much to move the fight, and we can do so much to enable both our supports and our DPS, actually, right? So we shouldn't be giving up and just saying it's a DPS diff. We should be talking about how we can, or thinking about how we can help our DPS do better, right? Whether it's being Mag and making sure to constantly bubble our Star-Lord as he goes in and uses his E to build his ult, or maybe playing a bit more of an off-tank role as Hulk and jumping back into our backline, making sure our team's always bubbled and making sure to peel for both our supports and maybe some of our DPS if we're playing with Punisher or something like that, right? Just we gotta think that whatever we can do, we can always do better, and we can always do things to enable both our supports but also our DPS. We need to constantly make sure we're always trying to make life easier for both of them, and as sucky as it sounds, we may not always get recognition for it, and tank is honestly not as flashy of a role as DPS or even support sometimes, but that's just how it is. Sometimes you'll be getting your 5-man Groots just so Moon Knight can ult and everyone thinks it was the Moon Knight, right? And I guess that's just what it is. But that's something that people need to be fine with, right? Something that I think constantly people try to push and be so aggressive because they strive for those plays. But honestly, being patient is a very underrated trait for tank players, and I think something that a lot of people need to practice, especially when you have the pressure of randoms telling you to push and take space when they don't understand. First of all, you're probably down one and you should definitely wait for a 6v6 and you're just getting melted. And sometimes, oh my gosh, I don't know why or how, but even in higher ranks, when I solo queue or duo queue or even trio or 4Q, I never get a tank with me, and half of the games I play, I have to solo tank. And so when they expect me to be able to just hold W and just take space, as simple as it sounds, it's definitely tougher when you're alone and you have to fight off 2 tanks, right? So it's just the discipline of knowing when to push and when to not push. And I'm going to try to make a video a little bit more in depth where I specifically talk about that and specifically talk about certain things rather than just talking about what mistakes I made in a game. So, but anyways, I realized that I'm talking so much and we need to talk about this game. So I don't know if you noticed, but we've literally been holding them in their spawn, and keep in mind this is a top 250 team that we're playing against. So the fact that we're able to do this is really, really nice, and it's all attributed to this pillar. Being able to play next to natural, literally like I've been saying, and something you may not have known is that when Strange Argamoto's there, I sprinted, and it actually made it so I was immune to his Argamoto. So that's something to keep in mind. But also, this pillar, this pillar is everything in this game. I don't know why people don't hold here more often. It literally gives you time to play an extra fight within this half of or third of the map. You can fight here and then you respawn and then you fight where people normally fight and then you respawn and then you fight at the end. So it gives you a whole an extra fight. So people need to use this a lot more, and especially when you're Mag and the Thing, those two are very, very good together. When Thing can kind of get in, get out whenever he wants, and Mag can bubble him and just kind of play that anchor role of a main tank. But okay, so now we backed up. I don't know if you noticed, but we did get picked. So now, we got picked again. So now the point is to kind of just hold them off, but stay alive. Staying alive is more important than anything because we just want to be able to fight again, right? We don't want us to stagger. We don't want us to... Oh, God. I don't know. We ulted so much. Is it winnable? Yeah, I don't know. We shouldn't have ulted there, I feel like. But
Big
anyways, the point is to stay alive, and we don't need to, yeah, we don't need to ult like that. We don't need to play super aggressive and get picks. No, no, no. We just need to slow down. We need to make sure that we're staying alive. The times to push are when we get the pick. I don't know if you noticed, every time we get a pick, we play so aggressive. And the same goes for when you get picked, right? When you get picked, you want to back up. You don't want to just die with the guy that gets picked. You want to make sure that you slow them down and keep them contested, keep the pressure kind of there, but don't die. And now that we got picks, now it's time to play aggressive. We punish Strange for being so pushed up, and we go. We press W.
For a little bit, kill him.
Holy.
Push.
Speed, 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 speed.
Go.
Can we kill the invis? Perfect, we can. Okay, but now we kind of back up again. We don't want to hold their spawn unless we do. That depends on what the team wants to do. Seems like we do,
Okay. Who did that? I wonder.
which is fine by me, to be honest. Okay, we ulted. Oh, I didn't even realize we didn't have. Yeah, nice.
I was.
So that's the first game.
Yeah, what more?
The big thing I want to take away from this game is knowing when to be aggressive and knowing when to be defensive, but also playing natural cover, making sure that you're always in the LOS or line of sight of your supports, and making sure you're not always in the LOS of the enemy DPS. And when you're able to do that, fights go a lot easier because your supports do a really good job if you can just help them do their job. If you're constantly in their LOS, even if they're bad supports, at least it's not your fault. At least everything you're doing is to make sure that it's easy for them, right? Making sure that you're not behind the cart or on the other side of the wall or around the corner, right? You always want to make sure that it's easier for them. All right, let's talk about this game now. We got 2 picks. It's time to play aggressive. Even though they got rezzed, we're still able to play aggressive because we got that extra pick. So just making sure we're always there, present with our team. I see our Spider-Man being really, really aggressive, so I'm just gonna try to cover him and making sure that he's constantly bubbled every chance I get, and as well as applying my own pressure. Maybe go on my side quests myself, you know, with whatever is going on here. Oh, I guess I'm body blocking him. I guess, yeah, but I guess I was body blocking the Hulk, making sure he couldn't leave.
Are you ready?
Which allows our team to farm him as ult, right? Because he has so much health, we can just keep doing damage to him and just get our ults.
Oh.
Now, I think this next fight is where I die, so let's take a look at how I die and what I could have done better to avoid this death from happening. So I think our Venom and our Spider-Man call out that they're gonna dive here pretty soon, so I already try to make a presence, try to get them to look at me a little bit, but with that Punisher infinite ammo, it's so tough, as well as Hulk behind us. Now there's a Punisher turret. I don't know why I'm going, so I tried to go because the Venom and the Spider-Man left, but we got picked, and remember I said when we get picked we should back up. I don't know what I was doing. I was playing so aggressively. I was trying to keep up with the Venom and the Spider-Man, but I should have known that they have mobility. They're their own tanks, you know. That's the thing about Venom and Spider-Man. They have so much mobility that they can be self-reliant, right? They can kind of jump around, swing around wherever. I shouldn't have felt obligated to help them and play with them. That's what the problem there was, I think. I also kind of just left my team. Well, there's a Hulk behind us, and I think our Loki did get picked from Hela too, so there was literally no reason for me to play as aggressive as I did.
Moon Knight won.
Again, we got picked. I'm gonna try to pick the Moon Knight. I don't think I get him. Again, it's time to back up. Right? There's no point in fighting this. The Venom and the Spider-Man go in, but I learned my lesson. They can do it. They're their own people, and they actually did a really good job. They got 3 picks, I think. So now it's time to push again. It's as simple as that. There's 2 types of tanks in this game I want to talk about. There's something called a main tank and an off tank. And there's actually, I guess, 3 types of tanks, because there's also 2 types of off tanks. A main tank is pretty much how it sounds. He's going to be the main anchor of your team. He's going to be like people like Strange and Magneto. Those guys are going to be your main tanks. And off tanks are more supportive tanks. People like
Help me.
literally everyone else. So Hulk, and Penny and Venom, whoever else, they're all supportive tanks. They're all off tanks. I can definitely make a video on that too and talk about how each subsection of the tank role has different responsibilities and different things they need to do to be able to help enable their team in different ways. So let me know if that sounds interesting. I'm not too sure if that's something that people actually would like to learn or if people already know that. So just let me know if that even sounds interesting.
Boy, I'm on.
I don't know if it's too niche or too kind of specific, right? No more. But now from here, we just keep getting picks, so it's just as easy as that. Just need to constantly make sure that you're using your cooldowns effectively, making sure that you're bubbling the right people as Meg, or you're shielding when it's appropriate as Strange, or making sure not to use your bubble right as soon as you jump in as Hulk, and actually being patient with it and knowing when to use it. Same with his Exile. A lot of this is also cooldown management, and even ult tracking is something that I wanted to talk about. Just making sure that you're always keeping track of their ults. So especially like with Meg, you can't really get much value with his ult on its own. However, when the enemies use their support ult or when they use their Punisher ult, his ult can be very, very, very good, because he instantly kills supports out of their ult and just deletes it, right? And there, I didn't need to use it because they used it so far back because we had so much space that I was fine if they were invincible in their spawn, right? So even being aware of that and not being like, oh, they support ulted, so I need to use my mag ult because it cancels it. No, it's kind of the IQ of knowing when to use it. And see, their Punisher used his ult, so I kind of quickly used it. Even there, we killed him so quick. I don't know if maybe me absorbing the bullets actually helped or not.
Back up.
But again, like, their Punisher was a threat. He was high ground. He used his ult. So I just wanted to make sure that we could kill him quickly. Whether it was from my team kind of killing him while I'm absorbing all the bullets or me throwing a big rock at him. But other than that, we just keep going. We keep rolling. We keep the momentum up.
Reload, bro.
Yeah, they can't even leave their spawn anymore.
Six months.
And that's what it's about. It's about taking space and keeping it and taking a comfortable amount of space. That doesn't mean that you have to go to their spawn and be like, oh, I'm taking space. It's taking a smart amount of space, right? Respecting your team enough to, or respecting the other team enough to not try to go into their spawn and say you're taking space. You know, so many tanks, my friends included, every time they play tank, they take so much space. They're going double the distance that I'm going, and they're even ulting sometimes. Sometimes I'll see a thing on my team run in and ult, and our whole team is back. And while he did get a 6-man ult or a 5-man ult, whatever it may be,
honestly,
it's a crazy ult, but there's nothing we can do about it, right? Because we're still pushing cart, especially the rest of my team. They're not tanks. They can't keep up like that, right? They can't be frontlining like that. So there's a there has to be a, I don't know, it's a type of common sense to know that when you ult as thing, just because you see 6 people in front of you, or Argamoto with Strange, whoever it is, right? Just because there's 6 people in front of you doesn't mean that you should use that ult, right? You need to be smart enough to know that, hey, my team can't play here, and my team is not even far up. We just won the fight. So chances are my team's still coming, and just having the awareness of where my team is at, not even knowing where your team is at. So many people don't know where their supports are, and so I talk about being an LOS of their supports, and people don't even know where they are, and then they complain about not having heals, or they complain about the DPS not playing off of a huge Clobber or a huge Argamoto. It's kind of frustrating to see because there's so much more to it, but I guess that's with every role, right? There's always people that are doo-doo cheeks. So what are you gonna do? I'm a little excited there, but got a pick, and we just contest here. We don't need to kind of do anything else because, well, their spawn is right across the street. So, and plus that's the choke. Now we can push because, well, we just got 4, so 4 of them are spawning in.
But they both died.
So they use their bubble, they use their cooldown. Can we get him out of it? No, we can't. But we killed Meg. That's huge too, because now he has to wait 6 more seconds just to spawn in, and that's their main tank too. So they can't really do much. But I hope I wasn't rambling too much about the alt thing. I feel like that's something that so many people don't understand and so many people need to try to understand. I'll try to, I keep saying this, but I'll definitely make an in-depth video about all of this stuff, like all in one, and just talk about tanks. And it won't be a VOD review. It won't be something where I'm kind of watching over myself or watching other people play. It's going to be me talking to you specifically about how to get better and what things to specifically be consciously aware about, rather than these where I'm telling you what to be aware about while critiquing myself, right? I want to try to just talk about what things I keep in mind throughout the whole game. And the things that I haven't even talked about here, right? Things that I may not remember completely in the moment because they're all, it's a combination of so many different things. Oh, can I? Look at this squishies on the right. Mantis.
Yeah, and green.
I know I sound like a broken record, but it really is as simple as you get a pick, then you play aggressive. You hold W. Their Namor was behind us, tried to ult me, and so now we can punish him. Honestly, he shouldn't have even bubbled there. He should have just died sooner so he could group up with his team quicker. But now,
Thank you.
wait, I'm Doodoo Cheeks.
I'm with you.
Loki.
Oh, I guess. To be honest, I still think the Namor should have died or something because we should have killed him. That was our bad. That wasn't even him being bad or something. It was him being bad, but us being even worse because he should have died. He definitely should have died.
I just heard Moon Knight.
Maybe I didn't call it out enough. And see there, like when I was 1v1ing the Namor, I was out of my healer's LOS for,
I got him.
I don't know, like 5 seconds. And I got super low. And obviously that's going to happen. So it's a matter of just
Yeah.
knowing that, right? And even there, I probably shouldn't have. I should have just called it out and
Right below you.
hoped that we were all focusing him, which I'm pretty sure I did, but I guess we didn't.
No,
Number one, no bubble. Good dive. We got picks. We got 2 picks, but I don't know what I'm doing. I guess we gotta take care of those 2.
I heard.
What?
It's no more Falcon close,
Oh,
right?
there he is.
Right here.
Kill him. He's half.
I got him. Got him.
More on point.
The match time.
See, it's just a matter of, honestly,
Play with me. I'm in all here.
there's also a matter of peeling and not peeling. In my last video, I even talked about how as a Meg, you should very rarely peel for your team. And there it was a Hulk. So it's also kind of like a counterpart of mine, which I guess Meg is the direct counterpart, but it's a tank in our own backline. So, and I know that my Venom's gonna be diving their backline, so I don't really have to worry about having that presence because we're already like creating so much pressure with Venom and Spider-Man. So there, it was okay for me to kind of peel, even though as Meg you shouldn't be as much.
I have all. Get green.
And things like that, it's hard to explain how to know when to peel and when not to peel. Like I just said, you shouldn't be peeling with Meg, but I still do it every once in a while, and that I think that's just something that you'll understand as you play more and more. But that's definitely like something that you learn a lot later on, and it's after applying these other things that I'm talking about. And I'm gonna that video I'm talking about that I'm gonna make, it'll definitely try to talk a little bit about it, but it'll talk about so many other things that if you can apply even a few of those things in your day-to-day games, I'm sure that you'll definitely play a lot better and you'll learn to when to peel and when not to peel. That's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. If you want to see another video I made similar to this one, click here. Also, over the past few weeks, I've received so much great feedback from you guys, and I just wanted to say thank you. If you can give me any more feedback I can use to improve my videos so it's a better experience for you guys, or if you want to see something specific, let me know in the comments. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time.